And indeed, looking ahead, the key challenge for us and for countries everywhere is to work out how we can exit from the circuit breaker and resume normal activities safely without the virus flaring up again. Easing on the measures prematurely and without proper safeguards can result in a second wave of transmission and then force a second round of tightening, which I'm sure no one wants. And this has happened in other countries, and it reinforces the need for us to move cautiously. As we take these steps to resume activities, there will be major challenges to tackle. I'll take the construction sector as one example. Over the years, we've made progress in construction productivity. We now have more prefabricated construction, but there are still 270,000 migrant workers in this sector alone. A construction work site typically will have hundreds of workers living coming from multiple dormitories. One single infected worker, mild or asymptomatic, can spread the virus to their co-workers at the work site. They in turn can bring the infection back to where they live and also to places they gather with their friends. When that happens, large clusters will quickly form, as has happened. How do we avoid this from happening again? So we will have to work with the industry to fundamentally change the way we go about construction activities. We will need a whole range of measures covering the work sites, the accommodation and transport of workers, as well as additional precautions taken by the workers themselves. I've highlighted construction as an example, but this applies to all sectors of the economy. All firms will need to change their work culture and practices. Life after the circuit breaker will not be a return to status quo ante. And that's why MTI and MUM are engaging industry associations, business chambers, and firms to help them adapt to these new realities. For example, telecommuting will have to be a default option extended to all staff. And then for those who cannot telecommute, strict safe management practices will have to be implemented. There will need to be split team arrangements with no cross-deployment of staff, staggered working and lunch break hours, higher hygiene standards, amongst a whole range of different measures. Within the workplace, there should not be any gathering of staff in groups at any time, be it the pantry or the staff canteen. Very simple measures, but every company has to take this seriously. Wherever possible, we should make full use of technology to enable the implementation of these measures. And all of these safeguards must be in place before we can allow workplaces to reopen and allow more people to resume going to work. When we do so, we will start with industries that are critical to the economy and to local employment and that keep us connected to the world and global supply chains. Some sectors will have to wait for a bit more time. For example, entertainment outlets or activities that attract crowds or people in close contact with one another. I don't think we can restart these activities anytime soon. Likewise, it may take some time for us to allow dining in at F&B outlets. I understand many people are looking forward to doing that with their family members and friends, but we will have to assess the risk and consider this very carefully, considering that this particular activity is a known vector for transmission. Religious gatherings and services too may take a while to resume. In fact, all our communities have experienced or will be experiencing their religious observances and holidays under very different circumstances, from Qingming and Easter in April and soon Vesak Day and Hari Raya in May. We know it's not been easy, and we really appreciate everyone's understanding of the adjustments that have to be made to keep ourselves and our families safe during this period. To open up safely, we will need to do two other things, which Minister Gan highlighted just now, to ramp up testing and to harness technology for faster contact tracing. A nationwide testing strategy is being developed even as we scale up testing capacity, as shared by Minister Gan earlier. It will involve more extensive community surveillance so that we are better able to detect any unlinked cases in the community. We will also prioritize the testing of higher risk and more vulnerable groups, like the residents and staff of nursing homes and welfare homes, as well as healthcare workers that have high touch points with the community. And then we will progressively expand testing to the rest of the essential workforce and the broader community in line with the expansion of our testing capacity. On the technology front, we have implemented 2 key tools. The first is Safe Entry, which is a digital check-in, check-out system to log the visits by individuals in all business premises and venues. The second is the Trace Together app, which uses Bluetooth on your phones to quickly identify whom you have been near to so that we can track your close contacts when the need arises. The team is now working with Apple and Google to enhance this app and to make it more effective, especially on iOS phones. We are also developing solutions for the elderly and young who may not have smartphones. So that's also a group we are focused on. And there's a whole series of work around the technology front, and when the work is ready, we will announce more details. Expanded testing and faster contact tracing are our 2 key strategies, but they are not a substitute for personal responsibility. All of us still have a part to play by practicing good personal hygiene habits, wearing a mask when we are outside, and seeking medical attention immediately when we are unwell. These are basic fundamentals that we all have to uphold. But with these enablers and the safeguards in place, we can then plan for a safe and gradual resumption of activities in June.